Welcome everyone. In this video, we are in the Ultra Premiere, showcasing some more fun battles featuring Nidoqueen. Good old, reliable Nidoqueen, always quite strong and powerful, and it will be serving as the closer on this double poison team. Nidoqueen can absolutely close a game strong if you set it up to have the best success in the end game, and that is exactly what this team is designed to do. Running the conventional moveset on Nidoqueen. Very tempting to run Stone Edge, but we're rolling with Earth Power. And also, we've got Alonlan Muk on the safe swap. We've got Alonlan Muk here because our lead, which is Jellicent, will have some serious problems with Trevenant leads. So wanted to have a very strong dark type on the lead just to have some added Trevenant coverage if necessary. Alonlan Muk, always very solid on the safe swap. And also on this team, as mentioned, Jellicent on the lead. It's been quite some time since I've run Jellicent in the Ultra League format, and it is quite powerful on the lead, able to bait shields with Bubble Beam and nuke with Shadow Ball. But before we dive into the featured set of the video, we are starting things off with some bonus battles that I thought were tons of fun. And here we go. Positive lead, Shadow Poliwrath. They make a play into Snorlax, going into Nidoqueen. Could have definitely gone into Alonlan Muk. That's definitely a solid answer to Snorlax, but Nidoqueen works as well. Nidoqueen has a pretty solid win over Snorlax, and the way I like to play Snorlax with Nidoqueen is I go right for the massive Earth Power right off, and the reason why is because if you weaken it with the Poison Fang first, they will not shield that, but then it's awfully tempting for them to shield when you go for the predictable Earth Power thereafter. So we go in reverse order, going for the Poison Fang here, and this will still not be enough. Snorlax, too tanky, too thick. They're going to force a shield, and we will gladly shield to maintain our alignment. We want that Jellicent absolutely 100% on this Poliwrath, and the reason why is because Jellicent hard walls Poliwrath like you wouldn't believe. We go Earth Power, Nidoqueen not done yet, going to get off some big damage, and they snipe us with a Star Raptor and its shadow form. Holy smokes. Things just got super spicy here with this thing. It is running the Community Day move of Gust, but that will not help them. They do have two shields, but my goodness, this thing is about as squishy as it gets, and Alonlan Muk is absolutely putting in the work on it. They are at back-to-back moves, but it will not matter as they go down to the Poison Jab, and Poliwrath was left with a fully healthy Jellicent in the bag. There was no hope there. Good game, well played to our opponent. Not only does Nidoqueen put in the work, but my goodness, does Alonlan Muk do the same. And here we go, Crobat on the lead. Generally a solid lead for us, but Crobat leads need to have coverage for steel types in the back. And steel covers are usually bad news for poison types as well. It's usually a Swampert, but their steel cover of choice happens to be Poliwrath. So this is what we wanted. We wanted to draw this thing out because it can threaten Nidoqueen to some extent as well. Although at a type disadvantage, it is a fighter, but does have access to moves that can hit us for super effective. So glad to draw this out. They go big Dynamic Punch, does boatloads of damage, but Alonlan Muk hangs on by a thread long enough to get off an Acid Spray. They are now debuffed to the max. So we are absolutely coming in with Jellicent, and the play here is to lace up those farming boots and farm this thing all the way down. We are going farming today, my friends, farming this thing all the way down. We hardwall this thing like you wouldn't believe. There's nothing that this can throw that will not be resisted by Jellicent. It is a thing of beauty, and we do get that farm down. And now they come in with a Scrafty, going to bank all that energy and make an aggressive play into Nidoqueen. We do draw back out the Crobat. Right about here is where Stone Edge would be really nice, but alas, we are not running that. So we're going to go with plan B and Poison Fang, Poison Jab this thing into oblivion, slowly but surely, whittling away at the very tanky Crobat here. So the play here is we want to leave this matchup with Nidoqueen with a solid amount of health to deal with that Scrafty. So we will tank a couple of these Poison Fangs, and we are now drawing shields from the Crobat. That is amazing. We will return the shield in kind because, as I mentioned, we want our Nidoqueen to be relatively healthy. Because after we take out this Crobat, our play is to go into, we'll debuff it first because they are now left hanging. There is nothing left on their team to allow them to clear the debuff. And we're going to add fuel to the fire, swapping in the Jellicent. We had loaded energy, going to unleash it all on the Scrafty, debuff it into oblivion. Oh, this team is amazing. Not only is it a lot of fun, but all three of these Pokemon have the ability to debuff your opponent. You cannot run from the debuffs with this team. We go Bubble Beam again. Probably could have gone Shadow Ball at this point, but playing it safe, just going for the neutral damage on the Scrafty. And right about here, I think they had enough and they abandoned the match. My goodness. Yeah, they abandoned it. So now we're forced just to fast move this thing down. Shame on our opponent. I mean, if you're done, just top left. Don't waste everyone's time. That's not good sportsmanship, I must say, but good game, well played nonetheless. Nothing escapes the debuffs with this team. Something is guaranteed to be debuffed at some point. You love to see it. Here we go. Positive lead. They had an SCAV. They aggressively swap into a Charmer. And my goodness, it is Nidoqueen time if I've ever seen it. Holy smokes. Gonna go for the big Earth Power because Sylveon can be quite tanky and gonna actually tank the Side Shock. Although super effective, we tank that all day with Nidoqueen as it is quite bulky in the Ultra League, and we farm it down. Fully expecting that SCAV to come back in, and we are still healthy enough to get to an Earth Power. Hits for neutral damage, but it does have Stab, and SCAV is not known for its bulk. That does a lot of damage to the SCAV, and I do imagine they go for the aggressive farm down. But no, they don't want to get debuffed. I'm telling you guys, nothing escapes the debuffs with this team. That's fine. They take us out. And they've got another Charmer. They're running double charm. Holy smokes. And they top left. Yes. Yes, please keep running the toxic double charm teams. And I guarantee you this team will take the elo. You'll love to see it. Good game. Well played. Oh, nothing pleases me more than to absolutely destroy a toxic double charm team. But here we go. Walrein on the lead. Pretty neutral for Jellicent, although we are resisting this fast move pressure. Of course, Walrein is still Walrein at the end of the day. Can absolutely do a lot of damage with Earthquake. They always tank the first Shadow Ball, as they know that they can. We shield because they almost never bait on Jellicent. They always go right for that massive EQ. It is quite risky to bait on something like Jellicent. And right here, speaking of baiting, we should have baited here. That's a misplay, but we do force the swap, and we now have our Alonlan Muk on their Shadow Crobat here. Could have gone Nidoqueen as well, but the matchup, as we saw in one of the previous battles, is quite tedious because the safe play is to just Poison Jab, Poison Fang it into oblivion, whereas Alonlan Muk can definitely hit this thing for neutral damage with Stab in the form of Dark Pulse. And they will force a shield here. We definitely don't want the Walrein on our Nidoqueen, so they do grab our final shield. Although resisted with the debuff and the shadow bonus, that would have KO'd our Alonlan Muk for sure. So that was the proper play to shield that and farm down. We now have loaded energy for a Toxicroak, so that means that this energy means nothing as Toxicroak absolutely hardwalls Alonlan Muk's moveset. And that is fine, but we control the alignment. And there are a few better answers to a Toxicroak than Jellicent. They aggro swap back into the Walrein. Nidoqueen can do okay against Toxicroak, but not when it has a shield advantage. So, gonna put it here on the Walrein. The Walrein's health is quite compromised. It is now in the red. Gonna go for a Poison Fang here. And I do believe they will get to another Icicle Spear, but my goodness, guys, Nidoqueen absolutely has the bulk, hangs on to farm down the Walrein, but not by much. We will not make it to another move, and now it is smooth sailing from here, my friends. This Toxicroak can do nothing to Jellicent. This thing needs, I believe, 3 Mud Bombs, or maybe even 4, to have any hope of a chance, and it is just not gonna happen. We will absolutely get to the Shadow Ball, and this Mud Bomb will do nothing to Jellicent. They are just drawing out the inevitable, but that is okay. Jellicent is here to absolutely put it out of its misery as we say bye-bye to the Toxicroak. Jellicent coming in clutch, closing the game in dominant fashion. That's going to be a good game. Well played. Had a blast with those bonus battles. As we move into the featured set of the video, we are met with the Nightmare lead. We got a Trevenant going into Alonlan Muk. This is why we've got Alonlan Muk on this team for those Trevenant leads, but they rarely ever stay in on it, of course. We are met with a Talonflame here now, so going to go Dark Pulse, and they shield, wanting to preserve switch advantage. And they are now going to throw their move. We don't want to risk a massive Brave Bird, and that's an amazing shield. Making the calls. You love to see it. Going to go for another Dark Pulse here on the Talonflame. And we grab the second shield. That is amazing. So now, because they have severely compromised their defense by going for the very risky Brave Bird when shields are up, we can now win this, guys. All we have to do is shield up whatever this is, most likely another Flame Charge, and we will get into Poison Jabs before their Incinerate can register. Alonlan Muk coming in clutch, flip and switch. You'd love to see it. We get to another Dark Pulse, and Alonlan Muk is going off on this team. Holy smokes. We do big damage to the Trevenant, and now we can align our Nidoqueen onto the Trevenant, which is now in the red. They can throw whatever they want. We tank it all, no problem. Nidoqueen quite bulky, and they've got a Jellicent of their own in the back, and they did get ahead on energy. That is unfortunate, but the play here now is just to get this thing as low as possible. This for sure is a Shadow Ball. We live it. And we've got another Shadow Ball of our own to fire back on the opposing Jellicent. And apparently we lose CMP tie against this thing. That is not good either. And right here we should have gone for the Bubble Beam. A little too slow to commit to the Bubble Beam, but that is fine. They go Shadow Ball. Holy smokes. So they may be running Ice Beam. That is fine. We're not going to let them hit us with any of their charge moves. We are going to just take it out with a Poison Fang. Although resisted, that's more than enough to take it out. And the Trevenant is energy dry. We get to this Poison Fang here. And Nidoqueen putting the team on its back, sweeping the end game. You love to see it, taking out the Trevenant. Nidoqueen, very solid, very reliable, very powerful. That's going to be a good game. Well played. What a battle in that last one. Nidoqueen coming in super clutch. And here we go. Galarian Stunfisk on the lead. Jellicent can do okay here, as Jellicent is quite bulky. Definitely tanks a couple of Earthquakes from Stunfisk here. So you just go for the Shadow Ball, because they will never ever shield the first move, as Stunfisk is quite bulky. They don't have to shield it. But I think we let this go here. Yeah, generally I do like to shield the first one because you're almost guaranteed that they're gonna go for the Earthquake, but for some reason I can't remember what we were thinking at the time. We decided to no shield it, as we can tank it at the end of the day, and gonna go for another Shadow Ball, and they let that go. So because we let that go, we are going to actually let this go as well. As I mentioned, we do tank it, not too comfortably, as they can farm us down. We tried to get off that bubble beam, but just could not quite get there. But that's fine, guys. The damage has been done, and expecting them to blind throw their rock slide, we come in with Nidoqueen, and they do blind throw it. That's resisted. And we will farm down with triple resisted poison jabs, loading up on energy, and they've got a Gyarados in the back, so this is pretty good for us. We did build up to a potential Stone Edge, but we don't have it. So we go Poison Fang, and they call it. No one runs Stone Edge, which is why it might not be a bad idea to run it on Nidoqueen. Only on the lead, though, guys. If you lead with it, that's where you want to run it, but not in the back, because if you find yourself onto a Steel type, you're going to be very sad. So going to go for another Poison Fang, and we are now drawing shields. They swap to clear the debuff into a Kingdra, and like I said, guys, nothing escapes the debuffs with this team. You'd love to see it. We debuff it and come in with Muk. And now the lose con here is to overthink things, try to get fancy, and try to call a bait. No, we're not overthinking it. That's a massively good shield. We shield up the big outrage and gonna go for a Dark Pulse here. They let that go, putting all the hope and faith into that low health Gyarados. I don't think that's gonna work out for them. As I mentioned, guys, throughout this video, nothing escapes the debuffs with this team. If you find yourself paired with this team, you can bet the house you are getting debuffed at some point. And that is exactly what is occurring with the Gyarados. We live in Aqua Tail, and the Gyarados goes down to a Poison Jab. Oh, this team, so much fun. That's going to be a good game. Well played. Oh, I tell you guys, this team really does put in the work in the Ultra Premiere. And here we go, picking up a very positive lead in the form of Toxicroak. I don't imagine they stay in. They swap into a Stunfisk. This is not a safe swap that we want to see with this team. We're in a very tricky spot here on this in this mid-game matchup here, because we Jellicent's our best answer to a Stunfisk, but it is also our best answer to a Toxicroak, so we kind of have to play this carefully. They go EQ. I don't know if we should have tanked that. Gonna go for another Shadow Ball here. I think we should have baited here because they will definitely shield. That is a misplay. So now, because they did that, we are going to have to start shielding now, and I'm thinking they're going to bait, and they do bait. That's unfortunate for us, so just going to go for a Bubble Beam here and then try and catch the next move onto Nidoqueen, taking a little bit of the sting off of their attack, even if it is an Earthquake, which it probably is at this point, because we did get that debuff in. Of course, not going to do as much damage. Nidoqueen survives that, tanking that big damage like a champ. They, of course, do come back in with the Toxicroak, and we are not in a position to build up to Earth Power and play the bait game with the Toxicroak, because they did decide to go EQ on their move with the Stunfisk. So just gonna Poison Jab, Poison Fang it. That's the safe play. It does add up slowly but surely over time, although resisted, and they farmed our Nidoqueen all the way down. Holy smokes. But we did get it into the red, but they are absolutely loaded on energy. Gonna go for Mud Bombs. That's all they can really do to us. But our Jellicent's quite low, and we don't know what else they have left in the back, so we have to let this go and put the hope and faith into Alonlan Muk. This Toxicroak terrorizing our existence here. Quite annoying for us, and we do tank the Mud Bomb. Again, we don't know what they have left in the back. Could be another Steel type for all we know. They do come back in with the low health G-Fisk here, and it's still super healthy when it is faced against a Poison Jabber, guys. So have to shield this and try and get the back-to-back Dark Pulses. We will make it there. They are at a Rock Slide now, but we do win CMP tie, and gonna go for the Dark Pulse here. They let it go, and they do still have a shield and a Shadow Snorlax. Generally a pretty solid matchup for us, but not from this health range and not with any shields. We top left, saving everyone some time. Could not quite get that one done, but very good game. Very well played to our opponent. Had a lot of fun with this Nidoqueen team in the Ultra Premiere, but not when we have a lead like this. Holy smokes, we've got an Umbreon. That's an awful lead. Gonna go into Nidoqueen. Although Alonlan Muk is the safe swap on this team, you'd never want to go in with your best option. So Nidoqueen is the way to go. Nidoqueen can do quite well against Umbreon. They chip and dip into a Talonflame, but we have the energy lead on the Talonflame. And that is not good for it because we do outpace as well. We are well ahead on this Talonflame, going for Poison Fang number 2. And they let that go. I fully expected them to actually shield that. But they are absolutely loading up on energy. They are quite low on health. Gonna shield this. This for sure could be a Brave Bird. And we do successfully shield up the Brave Bird. And because we did trigger the CMP event, gonna no bubble this so that we can get a little bit of extra farm. One Poison Jab does the trick. And just like that, Nidoqueen has flipped switch. You'll love to see it. Now, the question is, what do they come back in with? They come back in with the Umbreon. So really makes me wonder what they have in the back, as they definitely should probably save this for the Jellicent. But we don't know just yet. They go foul play there. Going to go for a Poison Fang. Weaken the defense of the Umbreon a little bit. And just going to try our very best to make it to another one. And we do. I don't imagine we grab a shield from the Umbreon, as Umbreon is about as tanky as it gets. And of course, they do let that go. And I don't think we're making it to another move. Not quite. That's okay. Nidoqueen really put in the work. Holy smokes. Okay, so now gonna come in with Alonlan Muk to soak this damage. They are running Last Resort. Good on them. Because if you are running Community Day Umbreon with Psychic, finding your way to an opposing dark type is quite miserable. And they're just unloading all of their energy. They've got a Venusaur in the back. Okay. Getting a little tricky here as they are up a shield. We are resisting this fast move pressure, and at this health range, Frenzy Plant would absolutely KO, although resisted, as Frenzy Plant is absolutely busted. So we do shield that and gonna go for another Acid Spray. So the play now is we've got to catch a move on Jellicent. Just use it as a meat shield against this Venusaur. They hold on to the energy. Why? I don't know. There's no need to, but we press on nonetheless. It does not KO, as Jellicent is quite tanky. They're going to need another one. They cannot farm down. That defense has been lowered to the max. And we do force them to throw. That is beautiful. So now it cannot farm us down. Neither can the Umbreon. We farm it down. We've got loaded energy, but we are not going to throw it. Just going to farm the Venusaur down. And just like that, Alonlan Muk has closed the game successfully for us. Oh, this team's so much fun. Good game. Well played to our opponent. Oh, this team was really racking up the wins for sure in the Ultra Premiere. You'd love to see it, but what you don't love to see is an Obstagoon. We are going right into Alonlan Muk here, and they are staying in a little bit. So, against Obstagoon and all dark types for that matter, you just go for that Acid Spray, Poison Jab combination. It can be quite lethal, as it does lower their defense by 2 stages. And they are going to go for a massive move here, guys. If they're farming for days like that, you can bet the house they're going to try and hit you with something massive like a Hyper Beam. They were definitely at Hyper Beam energy. Not letting that happen, and they come in with a Charmer. So, oh my goodness. If they come in with a Charmer onto your poison type, guys, you can bet the house that there's another one in the back. I love it. You love it. When you're running 2 poison types in the bag, it is a thing of beauty. We do take out the Togekiss, and now got to come in with Nidoqueen and load up on energy. This Obstagoon is quite low on health. It can do nothing to Nidoqueen. These Night Slashes with Stab don't do a whole lot at all. And we are just going to farm this thing all the way down because I know that there is a second Charmer in the back. There's no reason to come in on a poison type with a charmer. And there it is, right on cue. They're running double charm. Oh my goodness. This team loves to see double charm. Oh, you can laugh all the way to the bank if you're faced against a toxic double charm team. You love to see it, going for these poison jabs here, grabbing shields. Anytime you want to top left, my friend, you go for it, and they do. Holy smokes. Another toxic double charm team bites the dust. You love to see it, and that is the team, my friends. Good game, well played to our opponent. And how about it, guys? This team is quite fun. Nothing escapes the debuffs with this team. A triple debuff team. Did very well with it, guys. This is a pretty solid team. Jellicent on the lead, quite strong. Has a lot of very strong neutral matchups on the lead. You just really have to protect it from dark types like Obstagoon, Umbreon, and of course, you absolutely have to protect it from Trevenant, which is why we've got these two Pokemon in the back. They can do very well against dark types and Trevenant, allowing Jellicent to roam free and wreak havoc, guys. That's a recipe for a lot of wins in the Ultra Premier. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.